Right, so welcome back to the second video. By now you will have exported three images, 1, 2, 3. A plan view, we don't tend to call it a bird's eye view as we get to this age, so a plan view, a side view, and a front view. And we learnt that those relate to the film clip looking tool called scenes, and they relate to these three buttons here. We also learnt that we stay in parallel projection rather than in perspective. So now we're going to focus on doing this sectional view, which is in perspective, and how we cut something in half. That's a really, really strong view, by the way. We can see the interior features as well as exterior elements. We can see the underside of the ceiling and we can see the floor. And later on, we could do this with materials on. We could do it nice and big and have lots of people walking through, but for the purpose of this particular project, we'll just do a nice small one here. The other thing we'll notice is the thick black lines are actually where, if you can imagine a knife cut through this, that is where that knife touches. And so that there is actually a technical language in all architectural plans. You would see a house being cut through with those thick black lines. Okay, so let's roll into Sketchup and do that. So here's sort of where we left off. We had it in 2D mode. I want you now to go back to the scenes area and to put it back into perspective. So we'll click that button and instantly you see kind of what happens. Is this. Now, something I didn't actually mention in the previous video because it didn't affect me here, but, and I'm sorry if this is you, don't want to do the video all over again, but if you had that red line or the green line or the blue line, they're the axes lines. And we don't want those. So either you knew to turn those off, or I'm sorry, but you could do them again, or actually just leave them. We can actually erase them in Photoshop. But when I'm in this view, I will eventually turn those off after I make a few other adjustments first. Right, so we're back into normal perspective mode. We're going to leave the color off. Okay, and we're just going to get a view sort of like this for now. Right, so I've just orbited around, changed the view. We're going to come to the left-hand side options, and by default, what you'll see is the measuring tape tool. And underneath those options, we have this one. Hover over it, it's the section plane tool. Right, we're going to click that. Now, a section view can be either 3D or 2D. I'm just choosing to do it in 3D because I think it's a bit more of a dynamic and more interesting view when we can really see sort of inside and feel like we're inside. You'll notice that before I'm kind of clicking this down on a particular space, that it's kind of rolling around and following the edges of my design. Mine is a circular design and this is a curve, so I'm probably not going to put it there. I'm going to put it rest it here. Now I haven't clicked or anything. This is going to push through, slicing through this way if you're following my black mouse. And I'm choosing this view because I want to show a little bit of the opening and I want to show that seating over there. But I mean, you could do it on this way, but by the time we push this in, it's going to cut away my opening. And you'll see what I mean when I do it. And you can always delete this and do it again if you don't like the view it gives you. So I'm just going to click here, like one click. Now, just look at the orange box I've made, okay? Not to be confused by the other one that's there. It's one I've done previous to this. So completely ignore that grey one. You will just have this one box in orange. And you can see it's partially already cut away a bit. With the move tool engaged, M for move, click on your orange box, just one click, and start to move it in. And you can see it slicing through the space. And for me, I'm going to roll it back to halfway. Halfway is good. Actually, I'm going to bring it to this point here even. I like the amount of detail I'm seeing shaded in blue, right? So I'm really giving a technical understanding of all these elements being sliced through. I could roll it back to here, perhaps, and you just see in dark black the ends of those pipes. But I do sort of like that's just a bit more detail. And again, you can change that later on if you feel. So I'm just going to click again, and that confirms that that's the view I want. Now, before we download this picture, I've got these nasty boxes and I want to just turn them off. I want to hide them. So again, it's under the glasses. Let's hide some of these elements. I don't want to turn the cuts off, right? I just want to turn the orange boxes off, right? I also want to turn the axes off. You can see the green line in the background. Axes off. And if you have any dotted or dashed lines, they are guides, turn those off. Right, so that's the good view we want. And now I just want to orbit around, and the view I'd encourage you to get is, again, filling up the whole page. This is really, really important. These things really make a difference in our poster. And we're only going to do one download this time. And get a view that is a human eye view. So if I was walking into the space off the platform from the other tree, I'm going to see it like that. I am not going to see it like that unless I was above on a platform looking down. And so really the view we want for this one is a really nice effective view. We can put people in, put some birds in the background, and that will look great. So fill the screen. Remember, if yours is a long design, longer than mine, you can minimize that. And up here, download PNG. Again, transparent background, export as PNG. Now, if for some reason you do forget to check that transparent background and it seems like a lot of work, it doesn't. We can remove it in Illustrator, but where it would become just tedious and timely is like trying to go in between all of these slats, like even in there. So it's actually just worth doing it again and unchecking that box. And so congratulations, that is that one. And now we have got 3 views, 1, 2, 3 done, and we've got a sectional view done. So just review that video, get a likeness of what I've done, and in the third video, we're going to do this view. This view here is an exploded view where things have been pulled apart that shows assembly. So again, in DVC, it's all about how you communicate this design, how it works, how it operates, how it's been created. And this is a really important view for product and architectural design as well. So carry on doing that and then tune in for the third video to learn how to do the exploded.